because it's the silly, stupid, fascinating, weird, wonderful. They're my people, and more often than not, they're the geeky people as well.
I mentioned Betamax. For anybody older, that's the old version of a video cassette. Video cassette is an old version of a DVD. A DVD is not set of a cloud. Hello, welcome to another episode of Faith and Geekery. My name is Mark, and this is
Becca!
Hello, and for those who are listening on the podcast, they wouldn't have recognised or realised, or maybe some of us might not have realised either, that our credits had a little bit of a Christmassy nuance to them this time around.
Took me all 3 minutes to notice. I thought it was my head making the jingling noise. I tested it a few times.
Very good. But this is our Christmas special. And so tonight we are talking all about kind of, all things Christmassy, specially, and all things just special. That's where we are tonight. And that's where, and it's not just going to be us tonight. I know that sometimes there are some weeks where I'm there kind of going, just one guest, please. This week we are inundated with guests, unless they all choose to leave the green room immediately. Please don't do that. It will be really good to be joined by lots of folks. And we start, as always, by asking the age-old question of what geekiness have we been up to this week? Becca.
I have to confess, I am lost in the rabbit hole that is cheesy Christmas movies. Not the well-known ones, no. The really, really bad £1 from the charity shop type.
I was about to say, it's like Hallmark kind of.
Yeah, it's not a good place for me to be, but that's where I find myself.
And what's interesting tonight is because we have so many guests, we also have a private chat kind of stuff going along, all people threatening to leave the green room. So I'm already kind of being distracted. And I've got to say, I've been finishing a TARDIS, or finishing enough of a TARDIS to have it done. I'll share a picture a little bit later. And I've also been kind of enjoying the Christmas movies. And that was something that we will return to a little bit later, because instead of a quiz last week, I talked about what is your viewing, what is your kind of quintessential viewing for Christmas that helps you get in the mood for Christmas or Advent. And so I'm kind of bringing up some of those, but feel free to comment as we go on that as well. So geekiness, Christmassiness, all things to all people is welcome. Anything else before we launch into geeky news?
No, I don't think so.
Is that everything? This week I'm going to get the right geeky news. So here we go. Well, that didn't work properly.
Nothing is happening at all. No news is good news.
What that should have said was about... No, I've got to get this right. Captain Holt, chappie passing away from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which was really sad. It was also going to mention Jonathan Majors being kind of... convicted of assault and therefore being dropped by Marvel. There was also a bit about Good Omens being renewed for another season. Another kind of bit about Foundation being renewed for another series as well. So I think there's a lot of these kind of, as writing strikes have come to an end, kind kind of things are all kind of getting going again, and momentum is building. The other thing that I was going to mention is also quite sad, really, is that Hasbro has kind of fired a load of people, but I guess it kind of launches also into the bigger news of a lot of kind of games industries also dropping a lot of people, which is kind of quite tragic, especially kind of at the time of Christmas and all this kind of stuff. So there's like a lot of, it feels as if it's like a gear change in like the gaming industry and kind of board gaming industry about kind of trying to keep, are they able to retain people? Are they putting the people above the profits, or profits above people, or are they just trying to keep afloat generally? There's a lot of those sort of questions. Anyway, that was meant to be geeky news. I have no idea why it didn't go.
So that's my favourite bit.
I have no idea though, because it all should have been there and it wasn't. So never mind. So that was geeky news. Yes.
Are we going to bring on our special people?
I think we should bring on our special people, and let's hope no more technology.
They might have geeky news to share with us.
Yeah. So bam, 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 bam. Hello.
Oh, look at that.
I'm just looking at various other little details across all the screens, and we've got lots of tinsel, lots of Christmassy things. We've got an occasional. I've got to be careful as I say this. An occasional cow, and so it's really good. And flashing lights, baubles, everything. So that's fantastic, and beer baubles at that. Brandon, how long did that take you to put those in?
About 5 minutes. I've been practicing.
Getting good at
it. That is.
Well, thank you for joining us, folks. Folks, anything to comment about geeky news or geekiness that you've been up to since you've either last been on or since this week has started, or otherwise?
Well, I'm going to start because your geeky news never ever covers kind of Warhammer and things. So the geeky news this week is that the pre-orders on Saturday for Kill Team are up. So the new Kill Team Warhammer, which lots of people have been waiting for, is on pre-order this coming Saturday. So that's the geeky news as far as I'm concerned.
You could be like the Warhammer weatherman who does a little special on the side with his map. I would
surely war correspondent, right?
Yes.
I mean, I was going to say it's interesting that you went with weather as and you'll see.
It's the way he kind of I don't know, there was a kind of sensuality in how he presented the news. It went more towards weather girl than it did war correspondent. I'm sorry.
That's fair enough.
Wow.
Avatar Frontiers of Pandora launched a couple weeks ago. It's Ubisoft. Very gorgeous. Been playing it off and on quite a bit since it launched. So
cool, very cool.
On Saturday evening last, I went to Selby Abbey for a Hans Zimmerman film music orchestra evening, and it was epically amazing. Like the acoustics and the lighting and everything was a really good.
Where was that, Lydia?
At Selby Abbey.
I will be there in about 24 hours when the plane lands.
I suspect we've lost Mark. He's
really still.
He's back.
There we go.
I just thought you were so enthralled in what people were saying. You were just doing your good pastoral care listening face.
I've just decided to tether from my phone instead, and I was thinking, why is Becca suddenly stopped? And then it was like, oh, everyone going around the room, and I'm then thinking, is everyone just leaving? Oh, anyway, I'm back.
Hey.
I'm just wondering whether I should, in respect to Minty apparently being with us, Lydia's colleague there, whether I should change my hat to read Moo Humbug instead of Bar Humbug.
More cows in the world, please. Thank you.
Very good, very good. So we're all doing fine. We're all doing well, are we?
Yeah.
To clearly go where Snowman has gone before. Very good. Very good. Shall we move on to our quiz? Are we ready to go there? I feel as if I've missed out on something and kind of came back to like an awkward room. You know, like have I missed
Because we
something
were
being said?
talking about you in your absence, Mark.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Shall we go on to the quiz? Is that
Yes,
going to be
we're
all right?
having a quizzy theme tune.
There you go.
Where's the
Okay.
Christmas one? Where was the Christmas one?
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Well, you have to make your own jingle sounds. That's how we do audience participation here. Oh no, we don't.
Bar,
Okay.
bar
nice.
humbug. Bar humbug. There you go.
Okay,
You've got your bar humbug.
the Christmas special quiz has a Christmas movie theme. There's a few points. I haven't actually worked out how many points you can actually get for this quiz. But the first question.
Are these Christmas movies or are they Christmas movies? That's what I want to know.
Yes, they are for you. They're Christmas movies. Okay, question number 1. In Home Alone, how many siblings does Kevin have? Extra points if you can name them.
What do we do,
Home
Becca?
Alone, how
Buzz or write them down?
Just write them down. So yeah, we should have
Okay.
said. And folks,
I
don't
did
cheat by
consider.
leaving it in the comments.
Yeah, don't read the comments. Don't give them away in the comments. Okay, so in Home Alone, how many siblings does Kevin have? Question number 2. In Mean Girls, what Christmas song do the Plastics perform to? We
I didn't
say
even realise
being
that
geeky
was a
is
Christmas
bored.
film.
Well, they wear very, very short skirts.
Is that
So you
a
might-
prerequisite of Christmas then?
Doesn't sound like the sort of
Yes,
thing that would have been allowed in the
you
manse.
should be wearing, as in. Wait, hang on. Let me finish that. Very short elf-like Christmas skirts in a Christmas show that they do.
That's the bit that makes it Christmas.
Yeah, sorry. It's because I was envisaging the very short skirts, and in my head they were Christmassy. Question number 3. In Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe, what Christmas gifts does Santa give to Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy? So you should be able to name a gift for each of those people.
Are you implying I should actually know this one?
The Becca's
Yes.
question, so no.
Yes, it's nation.
No Christmas sermon is complete without a C.S. Lewis reference.
Amen.
Was it 4 or 3?
Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy.
Oh, but no one cares about Edmund, do they really?
There was redemption for Edmund.
Oh, that's true.
Edmund gives me hope.
Respect.
Question number 4. Are you ready? Have you written them down?
No.
Okay.
He's filling for time. Can't you tell?
Give me a wave when you're ready. Well done, Lydia. Okay. Right. Question number 4. In Die Hard, what is John McClane's catchphrase? The PG version.
I don't know how to type that in PG.
Cool.
And question number 5. In 2018, animated version of The Grinch, that was terribly read out. In the 2018 animated version of The Grinch, which actor voiced the Grinch?
Yep.
It's one of the best names.
I know at
in
least
Hollywood.
one of these answers. Phew.
Okay. Is everybody ready? Give me a wave. Give me a jingle. Oh, my fingers there from Lydia. Okay. Kevin in Home Alone has 4 siblings: Buzz, Megan, Linny, and Jeff.
I can't remember.
Each of those.
I couldn't remember how many of those were kind of cousins and things like that.
Yeah,
you see.
that's right.
So...
It's a sneaky question.
Did you say get a point for each?
You may get a
Name
point
'em.
for each, yes.
Even if you've just written 4. Do I get 4 points?
No,
Oh.
Baker, you get 1 point for the number and 1
Oh.
point for each of the names. So you could get a whole 5 points for that question.
Do I get a point for saying he's got a brother and a sister? Because I've got one brother, one sister.
No. No, that's not. I mean, it's 50-50, isn't
And
it?
you wanted me to be the humbug.
I am.
No,
harsh
Lid,
quiz
you can
mistress.
join me. You can join me on 0 points.
Where was my second guess?
Girls, the Plastics in Mean Girls performed to Bobby Helms' Jingle Bell Rock.
I am still on 0 points.
Do I get a point if I had
The
some outside
wardrobe.
help?
Peter receives a sword and a shield. You can get a point for that. Susan receives a bow and an arrow. You can get a point for that. Edmund receives nothing. You can get a point for that. And Lucy receives healing cordial and a dagger. You can get a point for that.
Do I get
You could, on that round, have got a point for nothing if you were careful.
No, you see,
Do I
I
get
was
any
wrong.
points for saying Lions and Tigers and Bears Oh My, or is that the wrong film entirely?
Wrong film entirely, Lydia.
I wrote potion, I wrote sword and shield, bow, and then short sword, because I remembered the little dagger, you see, and I just put it to Edmund, but I didn't equate it alongside them, you see.
The dagger is Lucy's.
Yeah.
And Edmund doesn't get anything because he's not with them when they meet for the Christmas. Always winter and never Christmas. In Die Hard, John McClane's catchphrase is yippee-ki-yay.
Melon farmer. Pardon?
Kimasabi, if you're going to be polite about it.
There's a question there. How many times does he say that in that film? Because surely the catchphrase could also be "ho ho ho." I've now got a machine gun.
Yes.
Anyway, I mean, I did write yippee-ki-yay, so you know.
Okay.
I got a point.
And Benedict Cumberbatch was the 2018 animated version of The Grinch. Best name in. With your hand, show me how many points you got.
Donuts.
0, 5, 7, and 2. How did you manage to get 7?
Well, with the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe answers.
You give yourself a mark for Lion and Witch and Wardrobe as well.
No, potion, sword, shield, bow, and short sword. So, and then
You could only get a point for each collective gift.
But you didn't specify that.
I did. When I said Lucy got cordial and dagger, you may get a point for that. I'm sure Steve.
But I didn't put them alongside. I didn't write them alongside. You see, I just wrote a list because I wasn't kind of doing like a fully extended thing. So I just wrote a list.
So are you saying you
should have checked it twice
to specific characters, Mark? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I just wrote a list, yeah. So you could have chosen, because you didn't say which person exactly got. You know, it was just a bag of gifts. You know,
you can have as many points as you want. It's Christmas.
I'll take it down to 3 then. So then I've got 5.
5, acceptable. Well done. Well, give yourselves a little jingle round of applause. Oh, this is.
There we go.
That wasn't long enough.
Since we edit it shorter, this seems to be the theme that we said for it to be shorter, and now it is too short. So there you go. So folks, quiz is out the way, and everything else is out the way. We're now coming on to Hannah is on to say one over here, busting out that Mean Girls knowledge. Absolutely.
Well done, Hannah Baker. This is why we need you around, for your Mean Girls knowledge.
I confess that was whispered through the study door as well. So at least one of my points belongs to Hannah, really.
We can take that. So where do we go with them? Oh yeah, we've got I was about to say about kind of Christmas viewing, but let's do Geeky Gallery first, and then we'll do the Christmas viewing and things like that. So hopefully this is going to work. So Geeky Gallery. First of all, I was going to show off kind of my Christmas stuff. My little kind of, I don't know if you can see, and I don't know if I shared it last week or not, but the little kind of Lego Wesley in a bauble, and my TARDIS mug, obviously. My TARDIS that I've kind of sorted. I mean, it's not completely finished, but it was finished enough because I was running out of time for our Sunday drama. And then we've got Cody, who's been kind of doing some. Now, I can't remember what this is called. Is this like beading or like diamond bead things?
Diamond art.
I was going to say, I think that's diamond art, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And so that looks really cool. I'm trying to work out if it's like, is it a Harry Potter shield?
It looks like it.
That looks like it, like the Hogwarts.
Hogwarts so that looks really cool. So well done, Cody. And something from Tom.
Talk us through it.
Yeah, over to you, Tom.
Oh, well, so I finally, because I got all my Lego building out of the way ahead of last week, I finally got to sit down and finish off the Warhammer 40,000 stroke 2000 AD crossover mashup. So so these guys are Warhammer 40,000 models, but painted in a color scheme that is a reminder of the color scheme of Judge Dredd in 2000 AD. 2000 AD, of course, is not just Judge Dredd, but he's probably the most famous character in it. So yeah, and also just down there in the bottom left, I did finally discovered about 2 weeks after we finished the league that I actually won my combat patrol league. So I got a new combat patrol to paint. Hey,
well done. You finished one and you got another one.
yeah. So that's for the new year.
Cool. And then Lydia, you went to see the London Film Orchestra's Hans Zimmerman Illuminated. That was the other night, and so it looks fab. Was that good, Lydia?
Yeah, it was really good. The acoustics in the Abbey worked really well as well, and we were literally in the second row, so we could see all the orchestra, and it's just really nice because I was in a smaller orchestra when I was a teen. It was really nice to see them that close and also interacting with each other, and it just was really magical, actually. So it's really nice.
Really cool. And you also made a little comment there about listening to the new Doctor Who theme tune in church using Mark's PA system. So that also sounded good as well.
Yeah, it was very nice. It was good. You could hear every single instrument in it. It was excellent.
Fantastic. Oh, and that's it.
Want to see my geeky baubles?
Yes.
Do we?
Yes. Hang on. Let me rethink how I asked that question. My Christmas ornaments. You ready? Here we go. Look. There is.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
That is excellent.
And from the Warner Brothers experience from a few years ago. J.K. Rowling was wrong. And also this one. This is an obscure geeky reference. And it's written on the bottom. It's a bit morbid. Can you see?
Oh, is it Winnie the Pooh? I was Scrooge. I was Scrooge.
Love it. Love it.
Where's the spoilers thing?
Actual spoiler.
Very good. And just to announce that last week, we didn't have a quiz, but we're asking folks to talk about their Christmas movies, their Christmas viewing, what they go to. And so my good lady said about Die Hard, because we'd watched that. We've also got through the holiday. We haven't watched Arthur Christmas yet, though I got halfway through the film of The Hogfather last night. The Hogfather. David had written about Highlander. Graham had said Bad Centre, then kind of said jokes, then talked about Batman Returns. So I didn't know what he was joking more about, or whether they were all kind of ones. But you kind of throw it in, kind of like, and to see how it's how the reaction is.
All of Graham's alter egos have bad taste in movies, it turns out.
Well, do you know what I mean? I wondered whether you just threw Bad Santa in there just to see how it was received. And it was like, oh yeah, kidding. But then threw in a Batman Returns, which is that Mr. Freeze? Is that the link there? I don't know. I can't remember.
No, because Dr. Freeze is Batman and Robin, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. Or Dr. Freeze. Kim
Batman
talks about
Returns
another
one of the later ones.
Oh, it's the Penguin, isn't it? Of course it is. It's Danny DeVito.
It's the Penguin.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's yeah. Lydia, you'd put Gremlins, then Miracle on 34th Street, and then Cody had written Nativity 2, which is definitely the David Tennant one. So,
I have to say, we finished watching Gremlins last night, and it is a lot more violent than I remember as a child. Maybe there's a couple of films that I've watched as an adult that I watched as a child, and I don't remember certain bits of, and I'm certain that my grandma actually fast-forwarded through the very scary bits for me.
That's nice. I was not allowed to watch it.
Here's a Christmas version of that. When I was about 4, my mum used to skip past the bit in The Snowman where the whale's tail comes out of the sea because it was too scary, and I used to get scared that what if the whale's tail hit the flying snowman and knocked the child out of the air.
Well, I was mentioning last week that I don't do. Was it last week? I said I'm sure it was last week. I don't do panto, and I'm pretty sure
yes, you do.
Oh, humbug!
Graham's defending his Christmas stuff. No, that's really cool. It is definitely. Yeah, I think I've just forgotten which one it was. So yeah. And Snow and Penguins kind of lends itself, doesn't it, to kind of Christmassiness. But sorry, Tom, you were saying about.
I think it's probably the scary stuff. It probably all goes back to the one panto that I was taken to as a child, where apparently my mum had to take me out about 5 minutes in when the Wicked Witch appeared. At which point I was like, "No, I don't want to be here," and made that very obvious. Which point I was taken out of to whichever theatre in Stafford it was that we went to watch the panto. I've never liked it since.
No, very good, very good.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Hannah has also put Muppet Christmas Carol.
This is the correct answer. No other answer is acceptable.
Christmas Story. That's my go-to. A Christmas Story. Famous for the kid who licks the pole and his tongue is stuck on it.
Isn't that Dumb and Dumber?
No. What? No.
Oh, okay.
It's a classic movie. It's not Christmas. There is lots of snow in it, though.
And Tim's referencing Muppet Christmas Carol. It did do that, but I think that's the Mick take of it. So, yeah, it doesn't originate from that bit.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to watch it now.
Much like most of Dumb and Dumber. Didn't originate with them.
There is no original content.
It's the annual reminder that Harry Potter is a Christmas film, indeed. All of them.
Yay!
What is it? Because do they not cover the whole school year? It's like so they can say, "Oh, it's an Easter movie. It's a back to school movie. It's let's embrace everything movie."
I grew up with the books and the films of Harry Potter, and I know there's all sorts of stuff going on around the outside of the Wizarding World, but Harry Potter is the place, the movies and the books, and the place that I go when I need some comfort. So actually, that is perfectly valid, and also it is Christmas because when I'm trying to wind down after term. Yes. When I'm trying to wind down, like at the end of term, I will put Harry Potter on because it's where my brain just switches off and just enjoys something. So, yeah.
For those listening on audio, there's a little kind of banner that says J.K. Rowling is wrong. And that is a reference. And that is the original banner from when we first talked about it and kind of talked about actually we can be kind of geeky about the Wizarding World, but also recognize that the creators can kind of get things wrong. So
the best thing to do at Christmas is to illegally stream the Harry Potter films. So that you watch them, but she gets no money.
Folks, just to say that is not a professional opinion, but that is just for the Baker household alone. They live at...
We do not endorse it.
This episode sponsored by NordVPN. Others provide.
We'll blame it on the lights.
Yeah, there's a nice little banner down here saying "formal apology to insert name here," which again I think is a previously used banner because we've used it on a number of occasions.
Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Oh, and then and Hannah's now also commenting. Don't let me hit him with it.
I'll go to jail on my own.
But at least you'll be able to stream Harry Potter.
Yes, I am irrationally cross, possibly not irrationally cross, at J.K. Rowling for sort of stealing something from my childhood that gave me great comfort and joy. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're there with you.
It's but it can be one of those things, can't it, where you have these kind of big kind of moments, these Christmas specials or these kind of big films where they do kind of invoke those emotional responses, and yet kind of through the course of time things can happen where you just they're kind of going, oh, that soured it a little bit, that soured it a little bit, it's still, and then you still have this kind of strange kind of connection to it, but then suddenly it feels as if it's kind of a more a harder kind of, or more tethered kind of link, or more tedious link to it, because you can't kind of go back on it. Something I will mention really briefly is that I was part of a famous cartoon club with a famous Australian who used to do stuff, and I used to have a little certificate, and I used to be really proud of it. And then it all kind of came up, and it's just like, yep, that's never going to come out in public ever again. So just mentioned it on a screen. Yeah, and it's just one of those things, it's just what do you do with it? And you have this kind of like little pocket in the corner that sort of say baggage, please handle with care, and but you still have those emotions connected to it. So I think Christmas can be all right with that. Talking of getting things wrong, yes, Graham's, but I love watching Top of the Pops 2 Christmas special every year, but it's hard to change content a few times when it gets yeah, and that's it, isn't it? We still can have those mixed emotions of something really good, but a bit of a crash into through time and through kind of things coming to light. It feels a little bit harder to kind of enjoy, but yet you still have those Christmassy connections.
But to be a bit deeper on isn't that why we should actually tell the Herod bit in the Christmas story each year? We always stop, don't we? We always stop. We always kind of run our nativity through to and the wise men left, having been told to go home another way, and we never mention why. It's like, actually, no. There is even in the Christmas story, the original Christmas story, there is some really kind of like crappy stuff that maybe we ought to, and if we mentioned it more, maybe that would allow us to kind of
like the mass murder of loads of baby boys.
Pretty much.
The other day I was really puzzled by a post in a local Facebook group, because, and this is a wider thought that I've been having recently, there was a post on saying, my child is traumatized, they saw a dead sheep in a field, and I'm like, but why aren't you as parent talking to them about death and the fact that farm animals sometimes die? Why are you blaming everybody else for not exploring that? Do you know what I mean? It sort of relates to what you just said, but
no, absolutely. I mean, it's interesting because I actually went to my uncle's farm, and they were being shown around, my two kids, so 6 and 9-year-old, and I had to kind of like guide them past the severed heads of various animals and carcasses. but at the same time, I was there kind of going, but it is on the farm. How much of a tour do you want, kids?
Have you not got a jingle yet for cute farm stories with Mark?
No, but we need one.
No, not quite.
But the point is, we can't protect children from everything, and we need to find a way to talk about things healthily.
Yeah.
Not too much sanitization this Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, that's really a fascinating journey to go down, isn't it? About kind of recognizing the kind of the heartfelt, the emotions, the journey that these sort of things can take us on, and it's the good and the bad, the ugly, as well as everything else in between that we've got to kind of embrace. And dare I say that's kind of a bit like Christmas, isn't it? That we don't just invite the nice people, we kind of invite family, friends, and even so and so. And do you know what I mean? It's all about that kind of gift of grace. And whilst those things should, obviously, if crimes have been committed and things like that, that should be recognised, and people consequences, But actually, there is something there about kind of recognising our humanity, just in the same way as Thomas said about kind of Jesus kind of coming into the world and into the crap of it. Actually, if we just remove ourselves and just kind of look to all the glittery stuff, then I think it loses some of the impact of. I mean, it loses the contrast, doesn't it? That if we can see Jesus coming into the world and kind of light of the world, actually, if you just put it in a well-lit room, then the light's not going to shine as bright. But actually, in the darkness, actually, it's helpful. Does that make sense? I'm sure I'm kind of. It's a theological roller coaster that I've kind of at least offended 5 people. But do you know what I mean? I think there's something there, isn't there, about that contrast and stark reality of it. And actually, we shouldn't just tidy it all up. We shouldn't just kind of raise the contrast, raise the brightness up. Actually, it's about recognizing, actually, yeah, you know what? It sometimes is rubbish. The things that are happening in the East, that is awful atrocities going on. And actually, we shouldn't just kind of brush that under the carpet or just tune out of that channel. But actually, it's about kind of accepting. And I've just seen Graham's comment about the Iron Brew advert and the snowman, which, if you've not seen that one, is the fact that he favours the Iron Brew, or does he try and he pinches the kid's Iron Brew and then drops the kid and then walks away with the Iron Brew, and so maybe going in a different direction there, Graham. But a good advert. Should we carry on talking about that, or should we veer into Christmas adverts?
Well, I was good. Well, Christmas specials first, just to tie into that. One of the reasons why I like the Christmas specials on The West Wing and why I often rewatch all of them at Christmas is because they don't shy away from the fact there's, because it's a series that it's an episode that has, a B plot and a C plot. One of the plots, at least, is the darker plot with something much darker going on to just remind you that, and whether it's Toby's dad, who's a operative person who used to work with Murder Inc., or whether it's, the homeless guy who died, who was a, Korean War veteran, or whatever it is, there's always, or Josh's PTSD, there's always something going on that is potential spoilers.
I haven't actually seen all of them, so I don't know whether these are actual spoilers or not.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's actual spoilers. Potential spoilers, no idea.
I don't think they ruin the episodes for you if you don't realise. But they've always those darker threads running through each of the episodes. Kind of don't shy away from the fact that Christmas involves kind of darker stuff as well as the lighter stuff.
Yeah. Indeed, this is our Christmas special. So let's not dive into Christmas adverts just yet. Is there anybody else who'd like to share their kind of Christmas special? I don't know why I'm repeating it several times, but I've kind of committed to it now.
Commit to the bit.
Would anyone like to share the kind of quintessential viewing?
I always look forward to Call the Midwife's Christmas special.
Yeah. And again, that echoes what Tom said, doesn't it? It's not as if they don't just have like a quiet episode chatting over coffee and biscuits. Actually, it still involves kind of the life stuff and otherwise. Is there anything in particular that you enjoy about it, Lydia?
It's just like the way they portray it, and I don't know whether it would have been the reality of the time, but they are quite good at the historical stuff. It's quite simple, and they make the best out of everything they find themselves in, and I think there's something really nice about that. Something that practical sort of way in which they love people through what they do is where I find home at Christmas.
Yeah. It's quite comfortable viewing, isn't it? Oh, not comfortable. It's quite homely, I guess. And even with the tragedies, there's still that kind of I don't want to say it dated, but like glass half full kind of hope in the kind of in that era. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Tim's showing the Vicar of Dibley, specifically the Christmas lunch incident. Very good.
Iconic.
Very good.
How many Christmas lunches have you had in 1 year, Mark or Tom, as ministers? Oh, that's a sentence. How often does that sentence get a say? Tim, amazing.
Never in this house.
Maybe
only with reference to other Tims. Yeah.
Maybe 3. I don't know.
I think when I was
good.
I think in Cornwall, when I don't so often here because I don't have lunch clubs, but a number of my churches in Cornwall had lunch clubs. I think I maybe managed 5 in 1 year. I was having salmon by the end and not the turkey because I was just like, no more turkey.
I've had 4 Christmas dinners so far, which is impressive in a rural circuit. So we've had a full Christmas dinner at 2 separate messy churches as part of the session, which is pretty good going. And then we've had a staff one, and I went out with a few of my volunteers as well. So I've already managed to have 4, and it's only the 19th. Pretty good.
That's impressive. That is quite impressive. Committed.
Yeah, you're assuming there, Becca, that people actually invite me to these sort of things. I think they kind of enjoy it. Because I know I don't want to invite you. So it's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. Anybody else for Christmas specials? And of course, we've mentioned Vicar of Dibley. So I mean, there's like the traditional kind of ones, like Blackadder. There's kind of and now my brain's gone completely blank. Like 2 Ronnies, and there's kind of older, kind of
Morecambe and Wise.
All the Morecambe and Wise at Christmas.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. We watched the Death in Paradise Christmas special last night from 3 or 4 years ago, which is very pleasant. Nice to be transported across the Atlantic.
Oh. And Lydia's just doing 4 candles.
That is a strong Christmas card.
Very good. Very good. But for me, it's Doctor Who Christmas specials. The Husbands of River Song is quite a special favourite. I'm also trying to talk the kids into their first viewing of Doctor Who and starting with the Christmas specials, because I think they usually tonally are a little bit more kind of range a little bit younger, but not all of them.
Can you project it onto the side of the TARDIS and have the full Doctor Who experience?
Nice.
I could, if I was intending to bring the 1.5 meter by 1.5 meter by 2 meter TARDIS back into the house amidst everything else. Graham is sharing the royal family when Keanu is born. Very good. Any others for Christmas specials?
Bless you, Tom.
The Christmas, I mean, I was just going to say Doctor Who ones. The other thing with introducing people via them is that they tend to be standalone, don't they? They tend not to. You don't need to know half of what's already happened this series to get half the reference. Which I imagine is quite helpful.
And they've often used the kind of the Christmas specials, kind of as like a keep you kind of excited between one season and another season. So actually, there might be a natural conclusion anyway. So actually, there's a break in the story, or there is maybe a continuation. I think the only tedious one for me is when Clara Oswald's character was going to go, and she was kind of swaying back and forwards whether she was going or not, and it just felt as if it cheapened the Christmas episode, but I won't go into those details. That's for another time. So yes, and then Tim's also put, we need a Methodist Christmas special with we 3 Tims.
Applications to be the 3rd Tim
Right.
Currently live.
Very good. Any more Christmas specials? I mean, I don't want to kind of, it's not as if this whole episode's kind of around the whole kind of Christmas specials thing. Let's not force it any further, shall we?
This is my favourite Christmas special.
This is the best Christmas special ever.
Well, speak now, or we'll move on about any other Christmas specials. Okay, let's move on then, shall we? I'm going to move on to the Christmas adverts because I think that is something that's creeped in over the last few years. I say few years. I think, Tom, you surprised me last week by saying that I think one of the ones, was it Mark, was like 2015 or 2014. So these have actually been quite a state. They've got a bit of staying power, and they've kind of been rattling around for at least 10 years, if not more now, really, which is quite surprising. So if we've seen a lot of Christmas adverts, what are we opting for?
I like Iceland's the most because they
For those who haven't seen it, what is it?
Nobody's seen it because Iceland didn't do an advert this year. They've invested the money back into their customers and reducing prices, which I think is a brilliant way forward, given that multiple billions of pounds have been spent on advertising this year alone.
Yeah.
Death to capitalism. Amen.
Very good.
Is that your Christmas sermon, Tim?
Always.
Goes down a storm, I would imagine.
It's just my sermon. You can take the word Christmas out of that. Long live the revolution. I'm not currently wearing my T-shirt that says all I want for Christmas is the means of production. But I will dig that out at some point over the course of the
Fair enough.
Festive season.
Any more adverts, Christmas adverts? What do we think to the John Lewis one with the singing, the operatic kind of, I want to say kind of Audrey 2, the kind of Venus flytrap thing? Have we all seen that one?
Yep.
No, I've not done
it is a bit weird. And to be honest, I was like, what is John Lewis doing? This is really other kind of things are available. I was like, what are they on about? What is it? And it's a bit of a like a redemption thing, but it's still a bit weird.
There's something about, for me, because they get the box from an old antique shop, I think. So there's something about finding something that's been forgotten, and then they plant it, and it isn't what they expected. But the boy welcomes it anyway, apart from the fact that there's a hint that it might eat the dog, which and then they put it outside. And I'm just wondering at what point Jesus would have gone outside with the Venus flytrap. Would it have been far sooner than the people did in the advert, or would he have got chucked out? Would Jesus have been chucked out with him? I don't know. I have done sermons on the Christmas adverts this year, so
I think it does raise a question of like, it kind of is about acceptance of, and even if it is kind of not what was expected, I think that's really good. And I found some of the other adverts just a little bit so-so, a bit,
Incredible.
Oh yes, and then is the
best of everything, even if that means people lose out because they can't afford it.
Then there's the Hannah Waddingham one, is it, with Marks and Spencer, where basically they're going to do things. There's a certain expectation that they're going to do some one way, and then they just go, stuff it. I'm just going to do what I like, which again just takes it away from that kind of embracing. And I guess that's where at least John Lewis kind of has a bit of a nice message of inclusion and acceptance, whereas the other one's just like, just do it for yourself, and it just seems a little bit kind of like it's a bit selfish.
Then is that not a strong message in terms of don't compete with everybody else, don't try and match the budget of families far more well off than you, do what brings you joy?
That is true, actually. That's true. I didn't really see it from the whole kind of competing. I thought they just couldn't be bothered with. I thought Hannah Waddingham was kind of like helping her daughter's kind of costume or something like that. So it felt as if it was just like, that's a bit harsh. But I don't know. Maybe not. I may be reading too much into it, or not enough. But I think this is a limitation of these adverts, isn't it? Really. But to be honest, though, a few years though, I sometimes take some of the the lovely kind of music, the slower tracks, and kind of see whether I can kind of shoehorn them into like the new year with kind of covenant services and kind of renewing kind of promises with God. The only downside is sometimes I'm there kind of going, it does just feel a little bit kind of a tried and tested formulaic kind of like, you know, let's get somebody to play this on acoustic and sing it slower, and that'll
That's
do.
what
You know.
Alexa's been playing for the last 2 weeks in my house. Alexa, play me Christmas Chill Out. Oh, no, don't. Sorry. No, stop. Alexa, stop.
Stop it, Alexa. Stop.
Up and down the country.
Oh, good.
Alexa, stop.
It's my favourite game. Alexa, subscribe me to the Faith and Geekery podcast on all apps.
I really other places to get resources are available, but I liked the Amazon advert this year because it was about to people of the older generation recapturing their youth by being able to buy something that would make a sled more comfy, and you can see them as they're going down the hill being transported back to when they were kids. And there's something really lovely about engaging with play intergenerationally, and it just fits all the boxes where I am at work at the minute. So I'm like, this needs to be a thing in churches as well, where we're getting older people to reconnect with their youth and the young people who are around them. So yeah, really like that one.
Yeah, I quite liked it. I think I like the sentiment behind it. There was a small part of me that kind of going, has she just ordered one for herself? That package is too small for. There'll be lots of bubble wrap in that package. You know, that's not a normal Amazon package. Those have been nicely stacked in there. You know, so this is nice for the advert. Just being cynical about Amazon, really.
I ordered some triangle dominoes for Mark's Christmas present, and they came in just plastic. He knows what they are because he's seen them.
Oh, okay.
It just came in
the actual spoiler up.
A thin sheet of plastic, but they also left it propped against my bin on a really wet day, so they've had to go back anyway because.
Oh no. Oh, that's a shame.
So you won't get that with a drone.
They don't always overpackage, but when they don't, they ruin things.
That's not good.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Very good. We don't have a banner for that one.
No, we don't. I can't be bothered to type it.
Yeah. We're just going to leave it hanging there. There is a question from Stephen. Stephen's asking. He's a good old Methodist. Stephen. He's asking about the advertisement, not quite the advertisement, the commercial, but the out of the ordinary Methodist, Great Britain Methodist kind of advert. Do we want to make any comment here, or should we move on? Has everyone seen the Great Britain of Methodist Church advert?
Yes, I have actually seen that.
Have people in this chat actually been involved in the production of it as well?
No idea.
No. Okay.
Nope.
Oh, sorry. I've been told off because I said about old Methodist. I didn't mean. Sorry, I didn't. That wasn't intended.
What Mark meant was positively ancient Methodist.
No, don't get me into more trouble there, Tim. So there's a little banner about saying, me. Sorry, I wasn't in the broad sense of the old kind of, the usual.
Keep doing it,
yes.
mate.
Let's move on, shall we? There is a little link on the bottom here to remind you about the Discord community that is available if you download the app. Ding. Sorry, now I'm just looking at Tim's kind of comment. Yes, we all have seen the clip. Looks off camera towards the stair, looking connectional road. That's a bit cheeky. Let's move on, shall we? Unless there's any comments, we're happy to chat informally here.
Who's the stern-looking connectional rep?
Have you not got one in your house?
No.
Oh.
Just keep
It's
one.
just there. It's just there.
There.
Not really. Cool. Shall we move on then, folks? Yeah. Okay. So, if we we've been talking about Christmas specials, about our Christmas adverts. Is there anything that we're just generally looking forward to at Christmas time?
Food.
food. Very good.
I've been granted third opportunity, 3rd year running, to try and perfect the Christmas dinner, because 2 years ago on Christmas morning my turkey was still frozen, and we got the backup turkey out of the freezer, and then the oven blew up, and then throughout that year we got the oven fixed 7 times and then said new oven please, which came the year after on the 20th of December. So I had to get used to a new oven, and then I messed up the timings, and the roast potatoes were not roasted, so I boosted the oven, and the oven exploded again.
Oh no.
Hang on, Luke. There's one part of this story that I'm not up with yet. The backup turkey.
So in the freezer,
how many turkeys have you got in your house?
You could never have enough turkeys.
Really tasty, but also very highly processed round Bernard Matthews turkey crown things that you can get for quite cheap. They were in the freezer in case something happened.
And the supermarket also. Oh, go on, Brandon.
I was going to say it's the best time of year to get turkey from the supermarket. You know, they're all on sale. You know, between November and December, stock up on a few.
Oh, and also last year I ordered a vegan turkey accidentally.
I would question whether that's actually a turkey, but yes, that is true.
I
want to know I want to know what turkeys aren't vegan. I mean, I know what turkey's vegan.
It's the grass fed. Look out for.
So yes, hopefully this year, this third time lucky, whatever the charm is, it will be okay this year.
You see, it's interesting because I didn't know this story, and as you first started kind of talking about it, I thought that's a bit harsh. It feels a little bit loaded that she's been granted a 3rd opportunity, and then you kind of shared the rest of the story, and then didn't mention just one oven but 2 ovens blowing up, and I can suddenly understand now. But I hope it
sounds like you've been visited by the ghost of turkey past and present. And this year will be the ghost of turkey future.
Yeah, the series of unfortunate events and whatever.
Graham's
I do a Christmas special.
Graham's put he's got a snow machine this year, so it'll be used at least for one of the rest of his Christmas services. And what's really cool here is that on his Facebook profile, he's got a picture of him with his snow machine, which it kind of almost looks a little bit. And I was going to comment on this earlier, Graham, but I didn't. It almost looks as if you're like in Love Actually on there. Just it's like the resolution, the way that you're just passionately singing there. It looks fantastic.
It's definitely some kind of BBC promo shot, isn't it? I mean, does he want a job with the Connectional Media team?
Is that the sound effect of the snow machine?
Yes, that was it there, Tim. That was it, yes. That's the Thanksgiving and Christmas horror movie that I want to see from the makers of Cocaine Bear Vegan Turkey.
Yeah, if you are ordering a turkey from a list of turkey options and it says turkey style crown, don't go for it
unless you want to embrace your vegan side.
Unless you are a vegetarian or vegan and seeking non-dead.
I would have thought like it was turkey style, so like it was styled up with maybe bacon or whatever, you know.
It's not just a turkey wearing baubles.
But I think it is turkey. I think it is. So we have been a little bit harsh on the kind of vegans and vegetarians, but I think it is really kind of helpful to kind of say, actually, you know what, turkey is quite like a standard kind of straightforward thing at Christmas, but actually it's a bit of a shame for those who are kind of vegan and vegetarian, where they kind of, it usually is like a relegation of nut roast, isn't it? And there are lots of other things available, and you know, it's not just about just kind of enjoying the sides. Actually, with a little bit of imagination and creativity, some things can be there. See, I've done my little bit promoting.
Well done.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks.
You'll be
Baker, what are you having instead of your turkey?
Were you asking me?
I think we've got some vegan turkey. I think we have some fake turkey. It's pretending to be turkey.
Nice.
Very good. Which will be served.
Is it the band? I'm trying to remember which band it is. It came up on one of my Spotify Christmas lists this year. There's a band that's done a song called Vegetarian Christmas. I can't remember.
Sounds like a top hit, Tom.
Spotify that.
Yeah. Feet, something like that.
Oh.
I'm enjoying Crowned with Many Turkey Crowns. That's very good.
To mitigate also the frozen turkey disaster of 2 years ago, I've ordered a fresh turkey from my local butcher, and it's a turkey butterfly. They have abbreviated said turkey on the receipt that I need to take in on Christmas Eve, and they've put turkey bot. So on Christmas Eve, I will be waltzing into the butchers and saying, "I'm here to collect my turkey bot, please," because I think that would be funny. But anyway.
Very good, very good. Tim said, yeah, it's feet, brother Tom. To be honest, though, as we said earlier, I do kind of buy some of the those cooked from frozen kind of turkey things as a backup, just to have in, and they're good for like turkey sandwiches, especially when I have got experience of this, where family come and descend, and you kind of go, "Oh, I've gone for a bigger turkey this year," because and then the nephews or the kind of the extended family just obliterate it in one sitting, and they're kind of going, so there's like leftover bits. That's not happening, is it? So you suddenly have to dive into other things. But anyway, never mind.
We tend not to get turkey. We tend to get a multi-bird, one of these multi-bird roasts or something. Tend to be frozen and just cooked from frozen, because often nowadays it's just the two of us or maybe three of us, and actually you can't get a turkey small enough that actually you're not going to be eating turkey leftovers for like a month. So it's just like, no, just something from the freezer, stick in the oven. It's very nice, but we're only eating it for the next 2 days and not the next year. So
absolutely,
yeah, we tend to go ham or prime rib. I mean, because over here we have Thanksgiving. Well, it's because we eat turkey all through November. We don't want to do it through December either. It's like, come on, I want to live. Let's ham. Let's spice it up.
Well, I get that. I get that completely. It's interesting that, and again, cue kind of music for Mark's anecdote about farm. That we grew up kind of.
Mark takes us to the farm.
Yeah, in East Yorkshire, mate, not Cornwall or down south.
You can clip that. That's fine.
Yeah, I think, that was Tim on his own, folks. We are nearly running out of time as well. We grew up kind of resolving or dealing with the geese at Christmas and plucking and kind of drawing those, and that was kind of our Christmas tradition. Not that I've kind of introduced that to the kids. Coming full circle, talking about kind of farming stuff, but I always used to say to Dad, "It's like, why don't we have turkey?" And he's just like, "Because we've got goose, mate." And it's just like, "Oh, I didn't realise,"
I've had goose at Christmas once. It's like you buy it, and by the time it reaches the table, it's half the size.
Yeah. Well, it's very much like duck as well. My granddad used to say that there's only enough duck for two, and it's me and thee, and he just like points to himself and the duck. Anyway, on that note, I've gone through all my old farming anecdotes. Is there anything left to say, folks, before we finish?
I am going to the farm on Friday, so
Is that for the turkey?
Marvelous.
I'm going to pick up my ceramic cow from the cow farm. And
cool.
Stroke a cow.
Nice.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yes, right on town.
Yeah, I was going to say, Tim has just shared about one thing I miss about a US Christmas is the Christmas brisket. That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
So, yummy. Whilst you're here, Brandon, can you explain what the Christmas brisket kind of tends to be?
I don't know his Christmas brisket.
No.
For me, it's slow cooked. Sometimes smoked.
Yeah. Very good.
Stick it in the night before on Christmas Eve and pull it out Christmas morning. It's like a nice little gift.
That sounds very
to
nice
yourself.
Indeed. As we all update our Christmas shopping lists. Bit of brisket. That's cool. Well, bless you, folks. Thank you for joining us. It has been an absolute pleasure. It's been a little bit chaotic in places. I think with the amount of people commenting and being on screen. At one point, we just thought that there would be no comments because everyone was on the screen. So I'm really glad that there has been plenty of comments, plenty of people. So look forward to kind of reading up some of these kind of comments a little bit more in detail without having to juggle everything else. So thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Lyd. Thank you, Tom. We're going to drop you off. So if you'd like to wave, you can say goodbye in like a Brady style fashion. Hey, there we go.
Not that way.
Hello. And so, Becca, that comes to the end of our Christmas special. Is there anything final to share or otherwise?
I don't think so. I think all of that stuff, all of that messiness and the silliness and what the stories that we hold at Christmas do allow us to be fully human. And I think we show that with our bunch of gloriously special people that came to chat with us today, that came to share their story. But despite the silliness, we're also able to be fully human. You're wearing a ridiculous hat. I have now parcels on my head. And yet together we gather and be fully ourselves. And I think that's the magic of geekiness, the magic of Christmas, and really important.
And that's really helpful, isn't it? Because what we should have maybe done at the very beginning of this episode is maybe audio describe to the podcast listeners that we've all been dressed up in Christmas things from the very beginning of the episode.
We
So
look
that was
glorious,
a little bit
podcast
of faux pas. I should have mentioned that I've got a Decorate TARDIS t-shirt on and a sequined Christmas hat.
Nice.
So yeah, well, bless you, Becca. Thank you for co-hosting tonight, and I think we shall be having a break, as I think was shared up on the screen. We're going to have a couple of weeks off, and we're coming back on the 9th of January, I do believe, and so that would be cool. Thank you, folks, for listening. And there was a couple of little bit of thanks and bits and pieces. Again, folks, we have got a podcast. We have got these on various places. I would say that I've also noticed that there are nice new features about Threads and X and things like that. So just let us know kind of where you kind of watch us, and kind of follow us on. YouTube seems to be some of a ghost town at the moment with this, so kind of maybe moving away from that, I'm not sure, but we maybe just have a little bit of an assessment in the new year about kind of format, about where we're kind of sharing these things, streaming these things and otherwise, and what sort of formats and otherwise. But again, thank you, folks, for watching. Thank you, Becca, and wherever you are, we hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all that kind of gubbins. Bless you. Geek safe. Bye-bye.